Y'all want to see a Tubi movie so bad it turns out to be good? Well, it ain't this one. A masked man chokes a girl who has been shot in the stomach, resulting in her death. He then removes her necklace and leaves. That necklace looked like fake gold. A year later, a man walks, and we get to see his bubble butt. A girl named Jackie fetches her friend Damien from the airport. They hug, and he presses real hard on her melons. She drives him to his parents' house as he plans to spend the entire summer there. When he gets there, he is greeted by his sobbing mother, Bridget, who explains that she and his father, Reginald, are getting a divorce after 30 years. She says that they grew apart, especially after last year's incident, but assures Damien that it isn't his fault. She adds that Reginald is at his new house with his new girlfriend, but assures him that he did not cheat on her. Girl, please. I already know that man cheated. Damien heads to Reginald's house and meets his girlfriend, Kessie, who lets him in and offers him a drink. When he asks her if she knows that his parents are still married, Kessie tells him that Reginald told her that they were separated and apologizes. Damien purposefully calls her Messy Kessie. When asked about her job, Kessie shares that she's an influencer with 400 followers, and she's on OnlyFeet. When she says she's 23, he can't believe his dad is dating someone his age. The foin Miss Kessie trying to grab that bag. Reginald arrives and Damien refuses to call him dad. This man looks like a pimp. Damien confronts him for hurting Bridget, to which Reginald says that he didn't plan on falling in love with Kessie and that he didn't cheat on Bridget. When Reginald says that things got complicated, especially with last year's incident, Damien gets upset that he and Bridget are blaming him for their fallout. Reginald swears that he isn't the reason why they broke up, but says that the incident made them realize a lot of things. What in the hell was the incident? They tiptoeing on that. Damien expresses his disgust over Reginald leaving Bridget for someone his age, to which Reginald says that he and Bridget haven't been happy for years, and they both decided to move on. Despite his anger, Damien gives in to Reginald's request that he stay over for dinner and spend the night there. While eating, Bridget admits that they met through the app Turo because she wanted to rent a car. Then her hole started pulsating Reginald in Morse code, and they fell in love. Damien gets frustrated at his father once again and goes to his room. Bridget goes to fetch him and begs him, even caresses his arms and suggests he work things out. Girl, I'm sure you finna work out, father and son. Later that night, Damien watches some Tubi and Kessie gives him some sheets. As she leaves, Damien mouths something like, he want to do his future stepmama. Damien finds Kessie's Instagram and likes her photos, which delights Kessie. As her geriatric lover goes to cuddle with her, Kessie looks like she got the ick. The next morning, Kessie wakes up Damien from a nightmare. As she's leaving, Damien looks at her junk and shakes his head. This man finna get into some deep shiz. Kessie gets acquainted with Damien over breakfast. When asked why he has transferred to a new school, Damien shares that he was romantically involved with a girl who had a boyfriend. And when they broke up, the boyfriend couldn't take it, so he harmed himself after harming the girl. However, the families believed that it was a setup to make it look like a murder-suicide, and Damien was a suspect. So he spent a couple of nights in jail. Kessie receives a text from her ex-boyfriend, Xavier, demanding that she stop ignoring him because he misses her, but she refuses to tell Reginald about it, saying she can take care of it herself. Damien tells her that he can't blame Xavier for chasing her. He bets she's hard to forget about and tells her she's hot. We know where this is going. This son is trifling. Damien goes to work out in their home gym, and he kind of foin. Shortly after, Jackie arrives and is shocked when Kessie answers the door and introduces herself as Reginald's girlfriend. Jackie later brings up Kessie to Damien, who then praises her. She warns him to watch her, saying she's obviously a gold digger. While Kessie films for her OnlyFeet, Damien watches her intently. Then Reginald arrives. Jackie tells him that he's someone's sugar daddy and asks him not to put Kessie in his will, which Reginald takes as a joke. Damien then gets annoyed seeing Reginald and Kessie all over each other. Your son jealous AF. Later that night, Kessie approaches Damien, who's eating ice cream in the kitchen, and brings up that he hasn't followed her on Instagram yet, despite liking her photos. When Damien tells her she has enough followers, Kessie tells him that she wants him to follow her because she likes the idea of him looking at her. Kessie feeds Damien ice cream and leaves. When everyone is asleep, Kessie sneaks into Damien's room, where they do the hokey pokey. The following day, Damien gets annoyed seeing Reginald and Kessie all over each other. After Reginald leaves, Kessie tells Damien that they can't fool around anymore. But Damien comes on to her, just like how he came on to her last night. They make out and immediately pull away when Reginald returns to get his briefcase. After Reginald leaves, the pair head to the bedroom to study human anatomy. Damien visits Bridget, who reminds him that he needs to continue going to his anger management therapy sessions to keep his scholarship and to address the effects of the traumatic incident he was involved in. When he mentions that there's a new girl he likes, she advises him not to rush anything. When Bridget calls Kessie a hussy, Damien defends Kessie, saying she's almost perfect. He says Kessie won't fall in love with Reginald, acting jealous, but Bridget takes it as him trying to make her feel better. Shortly after, Damien receives a text from Kessie asking him to return home immediately. When he gets home, he finds a shaken Kessie, who shows him the letter and flowers delivered to her dressing room at her shoot and says she's sure that it's from Xavier. He promises to protect her and to get rid of him if he needs to. The two end up doing some bedroom exercises. After, he gives her a bracelet and tells her he loves her. "Boy, you just met her." Suddenly, Reginald knocks on the front door, even though it's his house. Kessie rushes to open the door. Reginald screams at Kessie for forgetting something that can ruin his deal at work. Damien intervenes, and the father-son argue. Damien screams at his father, and Reginald says he about to knock his curls out his head. Reginald almost kicks him out. Kessie hugs Reginald and apologizes, calming him but pissing off Damien even more. When Reginald notices the flowers in the bracelet, Kessie explains that the flowers are a token of appreciation from her shoot and that she bought the bracelet. After Reginald leaves, Kessie reprimands Damien for how he behaved because they might get caught. Damien tells her he loves her and that he won't let her go. Later that night, the trio hears a loud noise outside the house. Reginald then sees Xavier demanding to talk to Kessie. He says he loves her and he would die for her. When Damien sees Reginald and Xavier fight, he beats up Xavier. He punches Xavier so much Reginald has to stop him. Xavier lies there all bloodied up. The power Kessie's kitty has on these men. I want to be like her. When the cops arrive, Kessie explains to Detective Shaw that Xavier was her boyfriend of 6 years. He never tried to hurt her, but he pushed her once, and they broke up because he got jealous when her career took off. Reginald then gets upset when he learns that Kessie chose not to tell him that Xavier was bugging her. Shaw recognizes Damien as the guy in last year's case and brings up his case in high school. Given his history, Shaw assumes that Kessie is his girlfriend, so he beat up Xavier. But Reginald informs him that Kessie is his girl and Damien was trying to protect them. Shaw asks them to go to the station to file a formal complaint against Xavier and gives Kessie his card so she can call him if something comes up. Oh, Shaw trying to hit up Kessie too. After Shaw leaves, Reginald asks Damien if he has feelings for Kessie because he's acting possessive over her. Damien tells him that he's protective because she's Reginald's girlfriend, so in a way, he's protecting him too. Later, Kessie looks up Damien online and learns that Shaw was telling the truth. The next morning, Kessie confronts Damien about not telling her the truth, saying the high school incident seems to have a direct correlation to the college incident. Damien tells her that it doesn't matter. He says he's just trying to protect her, and he's not a monster. Jackie arrives and finds Damien and Kessie swapping measles. She tries to knock some sense into him, but Damien threatens her to shut her up, which pisses off Jackie, who leaves. Damien then assures Kessie that Jackie won't say anything to Reginald and leaves. Later, Kessie messages Jackie on Instagram. Meanwhile, Damien strangles Xavier in his car, resulting in his death. All those popcorn muscles for nothing, Xavier. Kessie meets with Jackie, who warns Kessie about Damien. Jackie says Damien always has a temper, especially when it comes to the girls he loves. Although she didn't believe it at first, the more he hurts people, the more she's convinced that he really did kill his ex, Charlene, and Charlene's boyfriend Cash, and set it up as a murder-suicide. She adds that Charlene had a missing necklace, which she saw with Damien. Kessie shares that Damien gave her a bracelet and had the scariest, most violent face she's ever seen. She then tells Jackie that she needs to leave the house. Jackie helps Kessie pack up so she can immediately move into her friend's apartment. To their horror, Damien walks in and calls Jackie a traitor for sneaking off with Kessie. Jackie reminds him that she has been loyal to him even during the incident, but he chokes her. Kessie attempts to intervene, but Damien hits her and continues to choke Jackie, resulting in her death. He then kidnaps Kessie and knocks her out. Kessie girl, you should have stuck with the sugar zaddy. Reginald visits Bridget to inform her that Damien has been snapping lately, and he thinks he likes Kessie because he snapped at him and at Xavier over Kessie. He also informs her that the way Damien looked at Xavier is the same look he had during the incidents. Although he leaves Damien and Kessie alone in the house, he doesn't think Kessie has slept with him. Bridget suggests that they find Damien, and Reginald urges Bridget to bring her gun just in case. Kessie awakens and finds herself bound in a chair in a pool. Meanwhile, Damien sings like a fucking psycho. When she confronts Damien about giving her a dead girl's necklace, Damien shares that he confronted Charlene when she went back to Cash, whom he then beat up. He went to her house to talk to her, but she tried to leave him, so he texted Cash from her phone and told him to come. When he did, he killed him and wrote a self-harm letter for his parents. Damien calls Kessie a slut, saying she's just like the other girls. He says she is ungrateful despite him getting rid of her ex, revealing that he had taken Xavier's life. He shoves sleeping pills in her mouth and tells her that he's going to make it seem like she and Jackie were fooling around, and he caught them, so she killed Jackie and took some sleeping pills. He asks Kessie for her phone's password, which she gives out of fear. He then posts a letter for her fans. Before he throws her in the pool, Reginald and Bridget arrive. As Reginald points a gun at him, he asks him to let go of Kessie, who has fallen unconscious. When Reginald says Kessie doesn't deserve to be harmed, Damien reveals that he's been fooling around with her, so he's ridding them of a trashy girl. Ignoring his parents' plea, Damien throws Kessie into the pool. Reginald then shoots Damien and carries Kessie out of the pool. As Reginald revives Kessie, Bridget tearfully aims at Damien but can't get herself to shoot him. They call the cops, and Damien escapes. When the cops arrive, Kessie informs Shaw that she was romantically involved with Damien, who had admitted to killing Charlene and Cash. Shaw informs them that they have put out a search for Damien and that they will update them. Later, Reginald and Bridget look at Damien's photo, worried and afraid for their son's fate. Meanwhile, Kessie learns that she's pregnant. 2 months later, a girl named Jamie is approached by Damien, who introduces himself as Reggie. Why Jamie look like she missing a chromosome? We finna have a sequel, but does anyone really want it? What did you guys think of this one? Kessie is a hot-ass mess, but she was fine.
Subscribe to watch more videos like this. Turn on notifications. And leave a like, it really helps the channel out. Thank you for watching.